Hi there, it's Karen Schaefer, founder of APSD, the Association of Property Scene Designers. Well, we're just about finished with this particular series in your APSD Continuing Education video series. And I really have loved this house because we started off looking at this home that's pretty middle America kind of home in this particular area. But it had those few little kind of undesirable qualities about it, being a split level, having that specific to taste carpeting. If you remember, it had a leopard print carpet, which again, some people may love, but others don't, so it's kind of specific to taste. We had to think about how do we coordinate all that, how do we bring it together, and all the while we were also just doing a bang for the buck service. So we were doing 3 key coordinating rooms in this particular house, which absolutely had to be the front room because of the anchor item, the fireplace. We actually pulled a little bit of that into a small scene in the dining room. Then we had to focus on the kitchen, of course, because that's always a key room. And then the bathroom was right next to that. It was also right at the top of the steps when you walk into the house. So those were really our 3 key rooms. But I didn't want to leave without adding one small accent in the master bedroom, because it's hard to define where the master bedroom is in this house. It's kind of funny. There's not one that's really specific to the house. So we said, you know what, because we're already on the top floor, we want to go ahead and pull one more thing into that room. We hate to leave it blank. So we did a small picnic scene here in the master bedroom. This is what we refer to in APSD Standards and Procedures as a picnic setting. And you can get away with this in a kind of a non-fancy environment, I guess, of any kind of home. So as long as it's not an overly fancy home, you're okay to actually do a small picnic setting. So what do you do on a picnic setting? Well, here we actually have this great throw, and you can see how we've sort of scrunched it purposefully, of course. And it works so well with the rest of the house because the colors are all the colors we've been talking about. There's a beautiful red, gorgeous golds. The greens are throughout the entire throw here. It actually is absolutely gorgeous and works so well with the rest of the property. Now, the mistake that people make is they try to spread this out so that they think their customer will go, wow, a bed. No, it's just a throw. So we only want it to look like a throw just as you would if you were going on a picnic. So we purposely sort of scrunch it in a few different places. Then we added this small black and gold lacquer tray. This pretty little bamboo plant, and of course the mahogany color works well with the garnet color in the throw, as do the small little garnet colored candles that we have on the tray. We're not trying to do anything extraordinary here. We're simply creating multiple levels and a small picnic scene in the master bedroom, so we're not just leaving it blank. You'll notice around the candles, I actually have a few of these small little river rock stones. We use those in the bathroom too. So that's how we're pulling our different items throughout the house so that everything always seems connected. And finally, our little pocket of emotion. You remember the pocket of emotion, right? The one key selling feature that will sell your house each and every time, no matter what, as long as you do it correctly. Well, here we certainly did it correctly by adding this wonderful little sheep. We're in the bedroom, so you're counting sheep, right? It's a great pocket of emotion. And our team of newly certified APSD Stager Pros picked right up on that during their training that they did at this particular house. Now, the last thing that they had to do in this particular scene was sort of soften the corners and bring the scene together, which they did by adding these 2 faux leather pillows. And they're in this beautiful sort of cream shade that works well with the color on the walls, the color in the carpet, the color here in the throw, as well as throughout the rest of the property as well. So it really pulls the entire scene in together and makes it look a little more cozy, a little softer. So once again, this is one of those scenes that you say, you know what, I kind of want to fill the space. We don't have to do anything absolutely extraordinary, but we still have to speak to our customer. We still have to create the scene and layer in the pocket of emotion. And, of course, we still have to employ the 4 cornerstones of APSD home staging: color, continuity, theme, and flow. And I think they did just that. So I hope you've enjoyed this session in your series of APSD Continuing continuing education videos. I can't wait to get you started on an entire new series. You're going to be so surprised at what we have in store for you next. So this is Karen Schaefer with APSD. I'll see you next week on an all-new series of continuing education videos.